Thank you. I was just watching myself through the camera there, but I didn't come on. I hope you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, if I read my speech to you, because I haven't had a chance yet to learn it, because I was just writing it in the car outside, and it isn't as bad as it looks. It's not really that long, it's just big writing. So, the first job is to thank you all for coming today, because it wouldn't be this special day without all the guests. Just checking at the back, am I up to volume? Great stuff. Are you all enjoying yourself there? Soon put a stop to that. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Martin, and I'm Charlotte's dad, and now Nick's father-in-law. I'll just... Sorry. Yeah. When the initial plans were first made for today's celebration, I was very proud to be asked to make this speech. But then I thought, hang on, who else could they ask to do it? See? I realised that being the father of the bride speech, I'd be on first. And we all know what being on first is. The warm-up act. So, my first instinct was to refuse to do it. However, it was then pointed out to me by certain family members that Jimmy Carr, Rowan Atkinson, Alan Carr, Bill Bailey, Ross Noble, John Bishop, Ricky Gervais and Peter Kay had all started their careers as warm-up men. So here I am. Nearly halfway through. Today everybody's here for one special celebration. Charlotte and Nick's wedding. But I'm here to celebrate two events. May I take you back in time? You like that, don't you, girls? The date, Saturday, the 25th of April, 1987. The place, 41 Whitfield Lane, Heswell. The time, 10 a.m. It's not a ghost story. Charlotte's mum and I, Jackie, who was Charlotte's mum, for all the girls remember, we went next door to number 39 because there was a birthday party on, and it was in full swing, absolutely superb. At the time, however, Jackie was enormously pregnant. She was same profile as me. We returned home, and Jackie said to me those fatal words, "I think baby's on the way." So at 4 a.m, we were in the Countess of Chester maternity unit. 6:30 a.m, Winston Churchill was born. But luckily, we'd already chosen the name Charlotte. Jackie said to me, "You look exhausted," which I was, because I wasn't used to pushing that shopping trolley around the hospital with all the free nappies and gear in. So she said to me, "You go home and have some breakfast and a rest." Which was nice. So I went straight home. She said, "Come back at visiting time." It's good. So that morning, I spent all the hours I could ringing the lads up to fix the do for that night. And I thought, we'll start at the Glegg Arms, then we'll go to the Victoria Hotel, down the Black Horse and finish at the D. I dutifully arrived back at the Countess of Chester at 2:30 visiting time. And who was I greeted by? Mother and baby sat on the bed with the coats on, ready to come home. So I had to do my duty. Needless to say, I didn't go out that night. So today, I am celebrating wetting the baby's head. Arranging a wedding, as we all now know, is on a par with staging the Olympic Games. And I'd like to thank everybody who's provided help, assistance and guidance, time and effort. There's Nick's mum and dad, Chris and Ted. There's Team Charlotte, which is Mandy, Laura, Leanne, Vicky, Helen, Joe and Felicity. They have been guided today by my favourite mother hen, birthday girl Dinah. There's also Team Nick. There's Tom, Laurie, Terry and Dak. Give it one, come on, cheer for Well, I've got special thanks to Kerry, Charlotte's big sister, for the super cake. Absolutely amazing. And also for DHL for delivering it from Australia. So I've also got a thank you from Big Brother Russ for his support today and input. His big bunch of flowers. And he's hoping to visit us later this year. Which will be a shock for you all. So, I'd like to thank Jan for doing all the beautiful flowers. I'd like to thank Harry, Jane and Paul for the transport system that was provided, which worked out remarkably well. I'd like to thank the photo crew, which we're doing, obviously making a feature film here for rivaling Jeremy Clarkson on Amazon. That's Matt, Martin and Emily. The Gamblers, who are providing the excellent music. I'd also like to thank Sports Direct for the bride and bridegroom's outfits. No, that was only a joke. Not doing that. I've got one special thanks, though, to Mark. You haven't met him yet, but he's the caricaturist. And actually, he's out the back. On the way in here, he collared me. And he said, just stand there for a minute. And he very kindly did a sketch of me.
Did he do it better?
No, he did a drawing on me, Fliss. Tell you what, this guy's to be recommended because is that a spit in him? Third guy's fantastic.
Drop that off, Matty. Lucky Matt.
See, look at that. Last page. I must admit, I didn't think, for those that know me, that I'd be able to cope with giving anything away. But it's made me very happy and proud knowing that Nick will care for my daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to, this is good, please stand. But if you sat down, you can stay sat down. So, and raise your glasses to join me in a toast for the two VIPs, Charlotte and Nick, and wish them a very long, happy and healthy future together. My toast is to the bride and groom. I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Father of the Bride, please. Pick up your mess now, Matt.
Well, here we are. Such a memorable day that I felt I just had to say a few words. Nick does not want me to. He says it's not the norm. Well, he knows I don't do the norm. I only have one son, of whom I'm immensely proud, because he is just a really nice guy.
Yeah.
20%. Apart from his intolerance and impatience, but nobody's perfect. Anyway, I'm so glad that he's chosen Charlotte, and I'm so glad they've got Felicity. And I just wanted to put my thoughts about their future into words, in poem form. I'm old and withered. I paused there just in case anybody dared say, what do you mean, when? Thank you for not doing that. When I'm old and withered, I shall not live alone in a pensioner's flat or an old people's home. Will I go off to some warm, distant shore? No. I'll move in with my son and my daughter-in-law. I'll return all the joy that my son gave to me when he lived with me from a babe till he was 23. He will welcome me willingly into his home when I'm old and withered and all on my own. I'll spill coffee on the carpet and leave marks on the wall. I'll stagger home drunk and be sick in the hall. I'll sing really loudly and slam every door when I live with my son and my daughter-in-law. I'll rise from my bed in the late afternoon, hang my clothes on the floor and mess up the room. I'll play ear-splitting music well into the night and go down for a snack and leave on the light. I'll take the milk from the fridge and drink till there's no more. Then I'll put the empty milk bottle back in the door. I'll take from the cupboard the best bottle of wine. Well, we are family, so what's yours is mine. I'll come in from the garden with mud on my shoes and flop on the sofa for my afternoon snooze. Then it's wine o'clock, so I'll drink some more when I live with my son and my daughter-in-law. I'll leave all the dishes piled up in the sink and invite all my friends round for a drink. We'll play croquet in your garden and wreck your best shrub. Then my friends and I will disappear down the pub. When I've spent all my pension, I'll ask you for a loan. I'll spend it on clothes that I'll order by phone. None of your Berghaus, Helly Hansen or Nike for me. Maybe Alexander McQueen, Louboutin or Versace. I'll talk to my friends for hours on the phone. I'll grumble and mumble and complain and I'll moan. Oh, bliss! What a future for me is in store when I move in with my son and my daughter-in-law.
We're all right at the back there, yeah? Got a speech somewhere, I'm sure. I haven't. It'll be 1 minute, just wait.
Push it to the limit. Walk along the razor's edge. But don't look down, just keep your head or you'll
Knackered now, aren't I? Right, I've never had to do a groom speech before, funny enough.
That's a good job, great.
So I've spoken to a few people that have, and I've come to the conclusion a groom speech has got to be similar to a mini skirt. It's got to be long enough to cover the essentials and short enough to keep the lads' attention. So with that in mind, I'm not going to keep you long today at all. First of all, as Martin mentioned before, we've got 2 birthdays today. We've got Leroy celebrating his 40th. Where are you, Lee? And we have the lovely Dinah. Where's Dinah? Hiding at the back. And we've got your little presents each if you'd like to come forward. Just to say happy birthday and we hope you're having a lovely day. Happy birthday, everybody, well done. Right, on to the thank yous. There's quite a few, I'm afraid. First of all, we're going to start off with Sarah and the team here at Merbrook House. So far, it's been fantastic. I'm sure we're all going to have a really good night. Sarah's been fantastic leading up to today. Past few months, she's been very supportive, so we do appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. Obviously, you're going to make part of the day, and we do appreciate it, so thank you. I want to thank Russ, Mr. IT Geek in the corner here. The time and effort you spent on the video, I mean, we're not going to challenge the Coen brothers, I don't think, but we got the point across, didn't we? But no, I really appreciate that, Russ. Thank you, mate. Big shout out to Matthew Lesage here with the camera. This isn't Matthew's profession or anything. We asked Matthew to come down. He's kindly agreed, and we really appreciate that, Matt. Word of warning to everyone, we're not paying Matthew today, and we're going to pay him in food. So as soon as that barbecue opens, make sure he's behind you, otherwise you might be a bit disappointed. Right, moving on, we're going to go to... Who are we going to go to now? Well, not yet. Oh, no, I'll tell you what we'll go. Yes, as a lot of you are aware, myself and particularly Charlotte enjoy a sociable drink now and again. So one of the highlights leading up to today was the fact that I got to have a stag and Charlotte got to have a hen. Charlotte said it was one of the best weekends of her life. I think it's fair to say we can all see from here that she thoroughly enjoyed herself. Classic Charlotte. But she had a lovely time. She went to Newcastle and Amsterdam. In terms of myself, I had a lovely weekend with all the lads. We went to Hereford. A high point for me was probably my 30th on the 8th, par 5. It was brilliant, it was. 270 yards off the tee, dry, honestly, really good. 6 iron to the front of the green, knocked it in for 4, brilliant. A low point for me was probably getting home on the Sunday afternoon and having to explain to Charlotte why I couldn't sit down. We'll leave it there, I think. Just a big shout out to Laura for the cream. You'll all be glad to know there was no permanent damage. Right, bridesmaids.
The belt's alright.
The bell was broken, funny enough, yeah. Bridesmaids, I think it's fair to say, you'll all agree with me, the girls look like absolute worldies today. And on behalf of Charlotte, thank you very much for all the support you've given her leading up to today. I know she appreciates it, so thank you. A very, very special mention to this beautiful little flower girl in the corner. I say little, but she's not little anymore. She had her first day at school yesterday. And Mummy and Daddy are so proud of you, because you're an absolute superstar. And would you like to come and get a little present, sweetheart? This is just because you've been so good today and you look beautiful. That's just for you. With Mummy. Groomsmen, where are we? Loza, at the back there. Anyone else? Tessa? Some? Cleggy, where's Cleggy? Oh, he's with the baby, yeah. Not his baby. Lads, you've scrubbed up all right as well. You look half decent. Even Cleggy, after the third attempt to get a blazer that fitted him. Well done, Clegg. He was convinced he was a 40-inch. Look at the size of him. 40-inch. No chance. But no, lads, I appreciate the support you've given me leading up to today. And you're good lads, so thank you very much. Cheers. Now, the biggest thank you today goes to our family. Mum, Dad, Val, Martin. Where's Martin? We're going to include Dinah in there as well. We just want to thank you. Not only have you helped pay for today, but for everything you do. But for everything you do for us on a daily basis. I know I'm certainly guilty. I'm not saying it enough, but we do really well. I really appreciate everything you do. So thank you very much, all of you. Every single one of you. So that's it now. Bride? Yes? Yeah. Before I just mention Charlotte, obviously not everyone could be here today. Charlotte's mum obviously can't be with us. I never got to meet her. I hope she would have appreciated me and approved of me, basically. But I'm sure she's looking down and she's very, very proud of you. We also have Kerry from Australia, Charlotte's sister, who can't be here. So Kerry's actually sent a little message, Charlotte. Do this one here. To my darling little sis, I don't have to be there to know how beautiful you look, to know that the room lights up whenever you walk in, or that the sound of your laughter is making everyone else smile. But I wish so very much that I was. It's with a heavy heart that these words are being written and not spoken in person. And Rob and I are so sorry to be not sharing your special day, but we know that there will be so much love and laughter and a million precious moments for you to cherish forever. And that makes our hearts happy, because at the end of the day, that's what matters most. Today is the start of something new, and the magic of the next chapter begins. You may no longer be a miss, but you will always be my little sis. I love you past the moon, and miss you beyond the stars. And we've also had Russ has sent over a little message for you. Russ?
Hey.
Hello Charlotte, hello Nick. This is a big happy wedding day message from Brisbane, Australia, from us, the Vine family. Charlotte, can't believe it. Seems like only yesterday I was pushing you up to the fish and chip shop at the top of Whitty Lane. Tiny, Nick, haven't had a chance to get to meet you yet, but looking forward to it whenever we do ever get back to the UK. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Hope you're all having a great time. Wish we could be with you, but unfortunately we've got to stay here in this terrible love to everyone, love to our Martin, have a fantastic day everyone, and goodbye from everyone in Australia. Bye! Bye! See you, bye!
Right, I've come to the end now. All that's left to say is, Charlotte, I know I constantly remind you that you're punching above your weight. But I think it's fair to say on this occasion the shoe is on the other foot. You look absolutely beautiful today, and I'm very, very proud to be able to now call you my wife. And I'd just like to finish, if everyone can raise a glass please, and we'll have a quick toast to my beautiful wife, Charlotte.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for your groom, Nick Harrison. Okay, folks, it's your final speaker of the day. Everyone sat comfortably. Come back onto the stage, your best man, Mr. Declan Kelly.
I'm not even too sure how to follow all of that. I've got no poetry. I wish I could do a runner right now, similar to Nick. What I have got, similar to Martin, is a couple of lines.
Bit closer to the microphone, mate, they can't hear you.
But I think that my speech ends there in terms of similarities, because Martin, that was a touching speech. But I think I'll start off by thanking everyone for coming here today for this very special occasion. On behalf of the bridesmaids, the ushers and myself, I'd like to thank Nick and Charlotte for asking us to be involved in one of the most important days of their lives. I know they both put a tremendous amount of effort into the planning of this wedding, and I can only hope that everything's exceeded their expectations. Those speeches certainly did mine. Speaking of the bridesmaids, may I first take this opportunity to say how beautiful you all look today. Fliss, as Nick beautifully said, you look beautiful today, and you did a great job. The bridesmaids come second only to the beautiful blushing bride, who is, I'm sure you'll all agree, looking simply stunning. Martin, you must be extremely proud, and although I don't know you too well, you're a man I truly admire. It can't have been easy watching your daughter marry Nick today. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Declan, and I've known Nick for as long as I can remember. My main aim with what I'm going to tell you today is not to embarrass or humiliate the groom, but rather to help you all get to know him just that little bit better. So having given this speech some serious thought for the best part of a 6-hour journey home from Birmingham yesterday, it was no surprise that lots of memories came flooding back. So where to start? Nick's love of music is clear to many, be it him singing his heart out at a wedding ceremony, or having a right good sing-along in his car. Oh, and I suppose at this point I'd like to mention that his dancing is also the stuff of legend, a treat I'm confident you're all going to see later for the first dance. But Nick's love of music has taken him to many a festival, and it was during my first time at the V Festival that I saw his passion come alive. There was a group of us at the festival. Laurie was there with us, all of us excited about the set that was going on Saturday. It kicked off with Kasabian, then James followed them, and the big finale was Oasis. Nick was just beyond excited. So the day kicked off as you'd expect. A few beers, a few more vodkas around the tent to wake us all up. Then off to the park, get a spot, and enjoy the good times. The music kicked off and the atmosphere was electric. Nick, Laurie and I were big fans of James, and when their set ended, I looked around for the two of them to celebrate what we just witnessed and then look forward to the big finale. Laurie was there, big smile on his face, arms waving in the air. But I couldn't find Nick. I couldn't see him anywhere. And I just started thinking, is Nick at the front? Did he edge close to the stage? Is he with those hardcore music fans? But after a few more minutes, that moment passed and Oasis started to come on and I was back enjoying the music. And then after 6 or 7 hours of the best time I've spent at a festival, I started to make way back to the tent. We'd all got split up by this point, so walking back to the tent, and then all the chat was about how good the set was, and I couldn't wait to hear how Nick had enjoyed it. Then I caught his eye. Over I went. I can't tell you how I wasn't prepared for the response I got. Nick explained for the duration of one of the best sets in V Festival history that this hardened music fan had fallen asleep in the Portaloo and missed the whole thing. Now Nick's love of the sun is not so legendary. A person who carries around Factor 50 in the UK between the months of October to December is no sun worshipper. However, this didn't stop him joining me and a few other lads here today on our first lads holiday to Zante at 18. Now, I could spend time telling you about some of the tales on that trip, but one of the funniest stories actually took place in the build-up. 5 lads getting ready for a trip to an island of sun, sea and sensible alcohol intake can be forgiven for indulging in a bit of vanity beforehand. Now, that may involve a few new additions to the summer wardrobe. It could involve a couple more press-ups than the usual token gesture. But Nick was different. Nick was thinking about the bigger picture. He was trying to get ahead of the game. So I remember us all getting together to travel to the airport and thinking there was something different about Nick. Now, it wasn't a t-shirt, and it wasn't the benefits of a new gym routine. But I couldn't put my finger on it until I looked that little bit closer. Now, Nick had been thinking how he could beat his old nemesis, the sun, hadn't he? Unfortunately for him, who would have guessed that applying a generous amount of fake tan, then hitting the sunbeds, would leave him with a crusty, baked on yellow-orange kind of looking mess all over his body. What followed was 2 weeks of sitting in the shade and scaring the locals if he caught anyone's eye. Nick and I have passed through many milestones together. One of those milestones for a lad growing up is how you respond to a potentially threatening situation. The classic fight or flight. I can remember my first experience of this, and I'll always be thankful that Nick was in my corner. Nick and I lived close to each other growing up and spent a lot of time in the park playing football. And for reasons still unknown to me to this day, another lad who lived local to us took offence to me. I know. And word quickly spread that he wanted a fight. Now, whether this was to do with my ability on the football field and those silky skills that I showed off at the time, I don't know, but there was no talking to this lad, and I had to face up to him. On hearing of my situation, Nick, being a year older, I know, there's only a year between us, told me he was battle hardened and would come up to the park where the fight was to take place. We arrived first, adrenaline pumping. Then came the other lad from the opposite end of the park. He was bigger than me, but I had Nick in my corner. As the lad came closer, I could tell he wasn't messing about. I turned to Nick, and I could see in his face there was something wrong. Instinctively, we both arrived to the same conclusion. Run. The bigger lad took chase, shouting at us both. Words I can't repeat here. But Nick's house was closest to the park, and I knew we'd both make it there before he caught up with us. Nick was in front, made it to his house first, up the drive, opened the front door, only to promptly slam the door shut in my face. I'm glad to say I made it to my house safely. And a few days later, Nick came out from under his bed and apologised. Other than today, one of the proudest moments of Nick's life was passing his driving test. He had spent many a long hour practising the moves he could take advantage of when he had his own car. For the avoidance of doubt, I'm referring to the art of 3-point turn and parallel parking when I'm talking about moves. I was well aware of the hard work that Nick had put into ensuring he passed his test. At the time he was learning, we were both doing a computer course together, and I can finally admit now that we weren't the best of students, and we used to leave early to allow Nick to practice his driving around the car park outside. I'm ashamed to say, in my mum's car. On one such evening, Nick was driving around the car park when out the corner of our eye, we spotted my mum leaving the building earlier than expected. Panic set in for me. But Nick remained calm and drove the car into the car park space and parked up. I was impressed. And I started to grow in confidence that Nick can actually explain this situation to my mum and apologise. Once the ignition had been turned off, handbrake on, Nick turned to me, and in doing so, I immediately saw the panic in his eyes. Only for him to say these immortal words to me: "Quick, swap seats with me." To this day, I don't know why I didn't react differently, but I will always remember how Nick sat in the back of the car on the way home, quietly and calmly, as I sat in the front, getting a good old-fashioned bollocking. Nick did redeem himself a few years later when we were in Germany following England in the 2006 World Cup. England didn't fail to disappoint and knocked out of the tournament in the quarter-final. We were all in Gelsenkirchen and all crushed by the manner of the defeat. We lost the penalty shootout to Portugal. Nick, myself and a few others had travelled in a camper van around Germany, and we were now faced with the fact that the trip was over and it was time to go home. I remember we all had that feeling of just wanting to click our fingers and be home. At this point, Nick stepped up and volunteered to drive us home that night. After a second's pause, we immediately took him up on his offer and jumped into the van and set off even. I have no idea how he did it, mainly because I fell asleep in Gelsenkirchen and woke up in Bromborough. But Nick got us home in record time and without a scratch. And I'm confident that I speak on behalf of every person in that van when I say thank you for doing that. The past few years, I've seen Nick fall in love with the life he has. He's bagged himself a beautiful girl in Charlotte. They bought their first house together, enjoying, for the most part, making it into a home. And I've also witnessed the love he has for Fliss and how easy he is taking to fatherhood. He always has time for his friends, and whilst I often joke that he feels he has to take his passport out in order to leave the Wirral, he's a man who knows what he wants, and I can say with complete confidence that he's as happy as I've ever seen him. Before I sit down, let me round off by wishing the happy couple well. I've been told I had to drop one in for you. What else are you going to talk about for the rest of the night? I've been told that the real relationship starts here. Love may be blind, but marriage is a proper eye-opener. The important thing, again as I've been told, as you embark on married life, is not to get hung up on the small things and to maintain a sense of humour. They're off to a good start. Charlotte's already proved that by going through it today. That's me.
Can I get another big round of applause to your best man, Mr. Declan Kelly?
Hi, we're the bridesmaids, and we'd firstly like to say sorry for what you're about to see. And then secondly, we'd like to thank Russ in Australia for helping us with everything that's about to happen. So we'll get started. Oh my God!
Now this is a story about a girl named Trilly. We'll try to keep it straight, but it might get silly, and we'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, to tell you how she met the Prince of Bromborough.
On Whitfield Lane was where she was raised, rocking in her trackies on uniform days, drinking down the Legionnaire and playing some pool. She got braids on holiday, she thought she was cool. We've been all over and we've had some fun. Zanti Iron Napa wherever there's sun. She likes a blue wicked but she doesn't really care, because now she's going to marry a prince from Bromberah.
Let's talk about Nick now. What can we say? Give him half a chance. He played golf every day. He loves a new pub and he likes a bit of indie, but his irritable bowel means he gets a bit whingy.
They met at work and showed back. Charlie got flirty and Nick popped the question when Shirley turned 30. Felicity is part of the family tree. Oh, she's the cutest thing ever, and don't we all know? They go on cruise, love the chance for a date. They do pub crawls, they can end up in a state. The honeymoon even sounds a little rough. We've heard they're having it large in sunny Magaluf.
But let me tell you one thing I know for sure. You can't find a couple with a love more pure. Clubby and Skinner, they're meant to be together. Now Chili's is queen, Phil Mitchell forever.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your beautiful bridesmaids, big round of applause.